you have been making waves on TikTok, on Instagram, repurposing over 3 million videos.
That blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie, that blew my mind. Yeah. So the idea of Repurpose is to take your content, allow creators to publish to one of their go-to platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then our software will automatically grab it and distribute it everywhere else: Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So you're just focusing on one platform, but you're still getting exposure across all the platforms. I remember sitting on my parents' couch with a piece of paper and I just drawing blocks. Like, okay, you know, this YouTube can do this and then whatever. I was drawing block diagrams and I was like, normally you have to ask them for their username and password. And some customers don't want to give their YouTube name and password. We're working on a way where you can just send them a link. They connect all their social media channels to your account so that they don't have to give you the password, but they authenticate to Repurpose directly. Stuff like that to make it easier, make the process easier for agencies to get their clients on board.
Hello and welcome to Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is a podcast where we receive stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it. Today, we're here with the CEO of Repurpose.io, Hani Mourra. How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing, man. Thanks for having me here. Appreciate it.
I see you.
Yes.
All right.
So you have been making waves on TikTok, on Instagram, repurposing over 3 million videos.
That blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie, that blew my mind.
That's actually insane. All right, so talk to us about what Repurpose does so the audience can have a background for the people who don't know.
Yeah, so the idea of Repurpose is to take your content, allow creators to publish to one of their go-to platform, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and then our software will automatically grab it and distribute it everywhere else: Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So you're just focusing on one platform, but you're still getting exposure across all the platforms.
Yeah. What I love about it too is that it removes the thumbnail,
the watermark,
yes,
off of the post as well.
Yes,
that was genius.
That's important. That's important, right? You know, it looks like original. It's still your content, original content.
Yeah.
But it goes out as, you know, without any watermark.
That was so interesting. I was like, that was one of the ones that I was like, how the hell did he make this happen?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's on the video.
It's on the video. Like they don't take it out for you. Like I'm like.
So I mean that's kind of like, to be honest, like if we backtrack a bit, that was one of the biggest problems on TikTok, like biggest repurposing problems on TikTok. People were saying, how do I get the video without the watermark? And then I want to push it out everywhere. And when I got onto TikTok a couple of years ago, I started literally just watching, like, what are people struggling with? What they're trying to do on TikTok?
You're just consuming the content.
Yeah, I was consuming for a while.
Yeah.
And then I realized there was this trend of, hey, here's a good tip on how to remove watermark, Go here, copy here, do this. And I was all these manual steps. I was like, wait a second. I wonder if I can automate this in Repurpose. And that's kind of how that feature grew about a year and a half ago. It's just watching, consuming, and then from there deciding, you know what, we have a better solution or easier solution and fully automated too.
Most definitely. So now let's go back a bit.
Yeah.
You know, tell us about where you're from.
Yeah, I was born in Kuwait. And moved to Canada when I was like 13 years old. Actually, I was there during the Gulf War when it happened. Like literally woke up and there's like jet fighters out the window. And like, it's like, all right, everyone stay home, don't leave. And from there, kind of 2 months, kind of figure out where we're going. We took off. We got to the US, stayed with my uncle for a few months. Then we came to Canada, US, anyway, bounced around for a couple of years. We finally settled here.
Wow.
In Canada. So,
and who did you move with? Like, so your parents, do you have any siblings?
My brothers, like I had 2 brothers, my parents, my cousins, and my grandparents were all there. We're all living in Kuwait. And then we all actually ended up living in Canada together. It's amazing. And, and we all had kids and our kids are growing up together. So it's kind of cool, kind of family multiply. Community. Like Easter and Thanksgiving is like 40 people at my house or my cousins. It's a lot.
I know that,
but it's a lot of fun.
That food must be going crazy though. Like the Palestinian food, like it was insane, man. Like that
Arabic,
platter,
all kinds of food, rice and meat. It's a lot of family and a lot of people. It's chaotic, but you look back and you appreciate those moments.
That's awesome, man. Because to move with that many people really brings you guys together.
Yeah.
Like to travel as a team.
As a squad.
You know what I'm saying? Like on a team, you become so close. Can you imagine especially coming as a family.
Yeah.
Bro,
Like-
take this in. So back in the days, we used to go to IKEA, right? And we're like parked in the parking lot, just like waiting for our parents to come out. This family comes out of this van. We're like, okay, like there's probably like 6 people in that van. You know, it is what it is. And we continue watching the van, just like one after one person coming out, one after one. I'm like, what is it? And we were like in a van as well too, but like there's about like 9 of us, but they had like 18 people in the van. And that's when I realized like immigrant families move so different. Like we know how to like make things work, like come together, make the resources happen, like a van, like how to fit everyone together. And no one noticed there's that many people inside. I mean,
Yeah.
immigrant lifestyle is different for sure.
Yeah, it's true. No, you're tight. Your family's tight.
The family's tight, yeah.
So I want to wrap up on this, Kuwait story. What was it like living there? Like, give us a picture of that episode of your life.
Yeah, it was, I grew up, pretty much, I guess, like here. I mean, we grew up, we went to a private school. So we spoke English, which was fortunate. When we came here, it was a lot easier to transition over. Yeah, it was, we had an apartment, 3 of us, my brothers and I all in one room, and my parents in the other room. And yeah, it was a good life. I mean, honestly, it was a good life. The best part, I'll be honest with you, I was just talking to my cousin last weekend. Our weekends were going to the beach. That's all we did. We'd go to the beach, swim. So I'm like, I miss the ocean. Like we don't get to swim in the ocean around here. So
Yeah.
I loved it. It was like simple, but it was just, again, myself, my brothers, and my cousins. Every weekend, my parents, my uncle, would go to the beach, and that's.
You must have like a crazy tan back in the day.
Oh my gosh, I remember everything was hot.
You're
my
like
dad's
golden.
steering wheel, he had like that kind of cloth
That
over the
cover.
steering
Yes,
wheel, and
yes.
then the wind, it was just stinking hot, like, and everything. You can't touch.
The visor's
anything.
always on top.
Yeah. It just gets crazy hot, but it's just all good memories. Honestly,
Yeah.
all good memories, and we're fortunate. Like I said, our cousins and parents and everybody all came to Canada, and we're here together now.
Okay, got you. So was it hard transitioning from one culture to another?
I did bounce around for a couple of years. So it was like Kuwait, then US, and then Canada, then the US, and then Canada. We finally settled here. So, and it was during, I guess, high school. Yeah, beginning of high school. So it was a little bit tough. I mean, I don't know. When you look back, you look at stuff, but I don't know. It was just that was it. You just dealt with it and you go with it. So I don't feel like I had a deprived childhood or growing up struggling. It wasn't like that. It was just this is how it is, and we always had family and support. And
Love cures all. Like once you have that love, you don't see any problems that you have.
Yeah,
like,
you don't. I don't look back and say,
You don't
"Oh
look
man,
back.
I had a tough childhood."
Tough
and
childhood.
I couldn't. No. It was just. It was it. We bounced around. That was not easy, making friends in one school and then next school, especially in high school. It can get a little tricky, but grade 11 onwards was all here, and made the friends. Had my cousins again, same school, and we're all still close. Like
That's dope, man. All right, now, at what point do you get into developing? Because you developed and coded Repurpose, so I'm guessing like the real thread that brought you to Repurpose was being able to engineer things.
Yeah, so I did computer engineering or electrical engineering at the time at Queen's University here in Kingston, and that was. I knew I wanted something with computers. Like I didn't know what it was. I was just like, okay, I've always liked computers, like tinkering. I'm like, let's do the computer engineering. So I did that. It was hard. I wasn't the best coder, but I've noticed. I think in my 3rd or 4th year, it's like I'm a good let's say architect in a sense. Like I can see like Lego pieces. Okay, if I take this thing and I connect it here, we can build something. Like I was never good at doing it, but good at
You can see the whole terrain.
I can see it. I can see the vision and see how it fits together. And I was technical enough to read the technical docs and understand how it works. But again, not the best developer. I'm being perfectly honest. So
What was the mindset realization point where you're like, oh, I have that skill?
Yeah, I've had that. I think it was the first time I had it was we did a 4th year project, and a buddy of mine who was my my partner who was doing the project with, he was a really good developer, and then he would do a lot of the development, and then I'll be like, what if we do this, and he'd be like, oh, that's an interesting approach. So then I felt like, you know what, I'm contributing without coding. I'm contributing by the vision. Let's make this universal to do whatever. I can't remember what the project was, but the idea was like I was thinking bigger picture, and he was very good at diving into the details. And so I realized that I'm like, I have a knack for this, and I like building stuff. Like not as much with my hands, but I like building stuff with code. But I mean, a lot of the first software we started, I didn't code it. I didn't get into code. I coded a little bit, and I hired a developer, and I used my skills of like literally. I remember sitting on my parents' couch with a piece of paper, and I just drawing blocks. Like, okay, this YouTube can do this, and then whatever. I was drawing block diagrams, and I was like having a blast. Like, this is architecting like a house in a way, right? I was architecting what the software will do and knowing what's possible. And then I would kind of hand off piece by piece to the developers to, okay, build this feature. Now let's build this. And then seeing it all come together, to me, was the magic. It was like, the vision to the paper to the actual product. I was like, wow, to me, like that was the exciting part. Not like selling the product, but it's like seeing an idea come to life. That was the coolest thing for me.
So you had like entrepreneurial inclinations just from being a developer, or where did that come from to start off with?
Yeah, I mean, I like after university, I was working as a like developer, and then became project manager. And I was like, I'm always good at managing and coordinating and coming up with ideas. But as a kid, I've always loved video. So as a kid, we'd all go before anyone had phones. We'd all film our little video clips, and they'd all give it to me, and I'll put it all together and sit down and watch the final produced video. I've always loved video.
Like as a family, you're watching.
The family, yeah. Because like we go on a vacation for 3-4 days. Everyone's taking their own little clips with their camera, and they're like, "How are we going to show this?" So they give it to me, and I burn it on DVD, make it, like the whole menu and everything, and then we get together again and watch it, and like relive that memory. And I loved it. And then I was like sitting there one day. No, then I started blogging. 2009, I started blogging about video. I was like, hey, blogging's the thing now. Then, it still is now, but more then. And it's like, what's your passion? Video. Let's teach video. And I was like watching some of my videos. They're horrible. But I did teach good stuff, but my quality of video is horrible. But the point is, I love video. And then I studied computer engineering, and then I started blogging about video, and I was excited, but it wasn't my thing. Like, it was my thing, but it wasn't the final thing.
It wasn't it.
It wasn't it. And then one day it occurred to me, I was like, you're a good, like, software.
Conceptualizing.
Yeah. So you're a software guy. You love video.
Yeah.
Bring it together. Build a software for video. And that's how the first idea, before Repurpose was born, was a tool for WordPress that took your YouTube videos and put them on your blog and automated that whole process. That was like, to me, that was the starting point. That was the first kind of automation tool I built.
Did you make money off of it?
Yeah. I actually partnered with somebody because I didn't have the audience back then. I was like, I built this thing, showed it to somebody who I connected with over the years. And he's like, man, I like this. I have an audience that can buy this. We teach YouTube courses. You have a YouTube WordPress plugin. Let's partner up and sell it. And that's how we met. And that's when I started thinking, wait a second. Not only I like my tools, because I'm building it for myself initially. Other people are like getting value out of it. I'm like, this is cool. And then, make some money on it. So that's how I first started making money. And it wasn't a lot, but the fact that people bought it and loved it, that got me like fired up. I'm like, this is just the beginning. Yeah, this is just the beginning. We're just scratching the surface.
That's dope.
And that was, I want to say that's 10 years ago now.
That's 10 years ago.
The first tool I built was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And we built, I think 4 or 5 before Repurpose was born.
4 iterations.
4 different softwares. All same concept.
Same concept.
A similar concept. One took YouTube to your WordPress blog.
Yeah.
One took Facebook Lives. One took this platform called Blab, which shut down a long time ago. And then the last one was the podcast. Or we did one for podcasting, as like audio podcasts. Put them on your blog automatically. So we built kind of a reputation of being the automation guy. And then people ask me, hey, instead of going to WordPress, can you go from one platform to another?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we can't do that. And then another person would ask me, I'm like, no, we can't do that. And then enough people ask me, and I'm like, you know what? I think
like, I gotta do this.
I gotta try. I gotta try. Honestly, that's how Repurpose was born. It was people telling me, asking me, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you take a podcast audio, make it into a video? Can you take a Facebook Live and push that to YouTube? I was like, you know what? These are good ideas. And I had no idea what I was doing. Like building a WordPress tool versus building a whole platform, completely different skill sets. And, but I had to try. I felt like it was like a sign, like someone was telling me, you got to try. Enough people are asking you, you got to try. And that's how Repurpose was born.
So how many iterations did you go from, okay, this is what people want? And at the time, like social media is slowly starting to pick up, like Instagram is starting to pick up. People are making clips.
Yeah.
Walk us through those iterations and the first versions of, okay, now we're getting into vertical video content from not just audio, but actually going into video. So what year was that and how did it progress until what it is at 2023?
That's an awesome question, because Repurpose, like that first tool first iteration of Repurpose just did one thing. You plugged in your RSS feed you just copied and pasted your RSS feed into the software and you connected your YouTube account and you said go. And you pick a template and it would take your audio content and make it into a video with some waveforms, and it takes your cover art and put it all in there. And then
the captions and everything.
Well, not even captions. We're talking 2016. This is before even captions were even no one had the idea of putting captions on the video. Yeah. Just an audiogram. I don't know if that's still a term people use now. It's like a picture with your cover art with some graphics on it. But the key is it did it automatically, and then it also uploaded to YouTube. So you publish your next episode to your podcast feed, an hour later, it's on YouTube. You didn't have to press any buttons. And when I saw that, like that was Repurpose, just that one feature. And then people was like, wow, this is cool. I don't have to do anything. I just got to publish my podcast. And then people start asking, hey, can you do the same thing for Facebook Live? Like Facebook Live was the thing. This, again, 2016, 2017. Hey, we're streaming on Facebook. I want to push the copy to YouTube. I hate downloading it from Facebook and then uploading it to YouTube. All right, so we built that automation. Connect your Facebook account, build this, send the YouTube video to Facebook video to YouTube. Cool. And then, man, I'm trying to think what was the next iteration. It started with just pushing the content as it is. And then people start asking, and I think Gary Vee was like coming up with all these styled videos. He
was going crazy.
Yeah, and like title on top and caption.
Content.
Yeah,
Respect.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Most definitely, man.
Yeah. So it's just anyway, long story short, it's like an iteration of people just kept saying, I want more. Like, can you do clips? Can you make them vertical? Can you burn captions? Yeah. And then, last year and a half ago, can you do short form videos? Can you take my TikToks and send them here? So it's been an evolution, but the beauty of Repurpose, like what makes me excited, is that the possibilities are endless. Yeah. It's not like I have to build a whole new product. I already have the foundation. I just connect. We just added Snapchat and then Instagram stories. We just keep connecting, which makes it like there's so many possibilities, which makes me excited. And I love it.
That's one thing I actually want to talk to you about, because with the changing landscape of social media, it feels like you in Canada and actually content creators are kind of in this race where it's like a hamster wheel of new update, new feature to try, and it's just a continuous cycle of, I gotta do this new thing now. X is here. All right, X is monetizing. Should we go on X now? And it's just like a forever hamster wheel. As a company, how do you find not just balance, but comfort and consistency throughout that changing landscape?
It's tricky. When there was a threat of TikTok being shut down in the US and everywhere else, everyone's kind of jumped ship to Clapper and a few other platforms. And then instantly they come to us, hey, can you integrate Clapper? Can you integrate whatever, Rumble?
I've never heard Clapper.
It's like, it was like talked about a lot for a few months, and then it kind of went away. When TikTok's like didn't get banned, everyone forgot about Clapper.
The grand opening, grand closing.
Yeah, I mean, it's still there, but it was literally a copy of TikTok, literally a copy. Even like the interface looked like it. Anyway, the point is, you're right. It's difficult because things change so quickly, and then we're bound by what the platforms let us do. Like when Clapper came out, they didn't have any way for us to connect to it. So people were like, integrate Clapper, go. But we can't. There's no, like, they didn't open up their interface, right?
Yeah.
And then Threads, like another example is Instagram Threads. It came out and the next day, okay, when can we have thread integration? I'm like,
It just started.
Yeah, they just launched it yesterday. But I emailed like we have a rep at Meta, and I'm like, is there an interface, an API, like an interface we can talk to so we can integrate? Not yet. And they can't tell us like what's coming or not coming. So I'm hoping it's going to come. I think it will come. But you're right. It's keeping up is difficult. But I mean, like, if we had infinite resources, we would build everything. Like, we've had plans to integrate Twitch, like live streaming platform, Twitch, for a long time. And then once we integrate TikTok, that kind of took off. So we kind of said, okay, let's focus on what's working now. So which is short form video. And but we still want to integrate Twitch. It's challenging. Short answer is it's very challenging because people want everything, and we don't have an infinite number of team members that can build everything. But we do have an idea board, actually, which has been kind of a saving grace. So people come in, you can request features, and then other people can vote on them, and that helps us like drive focus. Okay, I had 100 people want this feature. Let's see if A, is technically possible, and B, let's put effort on that. So we use that as kind of our guiding. And when anybody asks us for a feature, we say, hey, go to the feature board, request it there, and while you're there, look at the other features and upvote them if you like them. So, and it actually works. We have like a ton of features, and then there's a whole bunch to have like 150, 70 upvotes. So it's really helps us focus on what to build next.
That's actually very important because as entrepreneurs, you're consistently developing ideas, and having a bank of ideas where you can reference and then start upvoting what's the best thing to do is a great way of like having a storage bank. So people are continuously like editing, but coming up with the best idea.
People feel like owners of the product. Like they actually like, I feel like I'm
You're
equity in something that I actually imagined to make.
Yeah, and it's really cool because the system will automatically let you know if you requested a feature or you upvoted it. Once we release it, you'll get notified automatically. Say, hey, this feature just got released. So you, like you said, you feel like you're part of the process,
evolution.
That's really interesting. One thing that you keep saying that I find really interesting is the customers are saying this, customers are saying that, right? How do you decipher between noise versus real solid customer feedback?
Yeah, it's tricky. The idea board is one of them. Idea board is just, we try to funnel everybody through the idea board. And so I feel like that's a good way of kind of filtering. Hey, if you're really serious about this, you'll take the 2 minutes to go in and click and leave your idea. If you're just ranting, you're going to send me an email, say, I want this feature. I'm going to cancel if you don't build it. You probably, you're going to cancel anyways, probably, right? So, funneling them there. Plus, it helps us organize. We sort by most popular votes. But yeah, I mean, I've always had this vision for Repurpose from the beginning. It's like this central platform that you can connect everything to it, and then you decide where your content goes. Send it from here to here. Do this. Convert the audio to video. Back it up to Dropbox. Whatever. You can do a million things. So you're in control. So it's like almost like the headquarters for your content. So if something comes in that doesn't align, or hey, can you add a button so we can live stream from Repurpose? That's not part of our
Ethos.
Our vision, right? Or so we filter those out. So it is tricky, especially in the beginning, because a lot of people just, I want this, I want that, and then I don't know. I feel like I want to help everybody, but we gotta. Now I'm learning to filter like okay. This is a good idea. Let's put it on the back burner. This is a great idea, but it's not technically possible. Like there's no way to do it. And then this is a okay idea. Let's wait how many people upvote it. That will help us know if that's really worth building or not.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what was that moment for Repurpose where it hit like critical mass? Where that you launched the platform, people were using it, but at this point, things just really started like taking up and taking over, and it started becoming like, okay, this is Repurpose.io. You cannot live without it.
Yeah. So I think basically our TikTok integration. Once we focus on short form content, because TikTok and other reels and shorts, they're all about 2 years ago. Well, a year and a half ago, we integrated TikTok into our platform. Before then, we were doing okay. We're cruising. We had all the features, and then we integrated that. And then I think I was telling you, Alex, a story. And once we integrated that feature, once I was got on TikTok, studied what a common problem is, and I figured out how we can fix it or automate it and repurpose. I started going in and commenting on other people's videos. People will talk about, oh, look at this great way. You can go here, copy here, do this, you get the video without the watermark. And then I'd be like, wow, there's actually a more automated way. Try it for free. It's called repurpose.io. And I was going in one video at a time and just commenting. I don't want to say spamming, because I don't think it was spam. I was still offering value. It's like, hey, this is another way of doing it. It's more automated.
You're doing things that don't scale.
Yeah, exactly. I was doing things that don't scale. But I think that really helped. Once people got caught wind of it, they started doing the same thing. Because people on TikTok love sharing like the coolest hacks. Like, here's the coolest hack that will automate this. It'll save you so much time. So that was April of last year. That's when Repurpose
made it.
I don't say made it. It entered a new
stratosphere
dimension, I would say, because it started like everybody was talking for a while. Now it's quieted down, but for a while, everyone was talking about repurpose, repurpose. Remove the watermark and send it to Shorts, send it to Reels, send it to Snapchat. Like, as we added more integration, people are like, oh, I can send it to Snapchat now. Oh, I can send it to Instagram Stories. I can send it to Instagram Reels. So as we integrated TikTok, the timing is everything. All the stars aligned, because the timing, we added TikTok, and then Shorts came out, and then Reels opened up their API so you can publish to it all around the same time. So as soon as we added TikTok, a few months later, Instagram decided to open up their interface so developers can push to Reels. Boom, we were like literally one of the first to integrate into a software. And then then Snapchat had some people are asking for Snapchat. Hey, they pay a lot of money for creators. Can you add Snapchat? We went in. I think honestly, we were one of the first. Like, we were talking to the guys there, and they're like, we've had this for a while. Nobody's really integrated this. It's not really public on their website. Like, their developer docs is not like very obvious. But I know I was looking into it one day and I found it. I was like, oh, okay. And we integrated. Like, anyway, we like jumped on things quickly. YouTube. Obviously, we already had YouTube integration, so Shorts was already done. But yeah, we just kept all the stars aligned, and it's like people just love the fact that they can just upload to one platform and not have to worry about it, and it goes everywhere else. So
yeah, as like content becomes like the main thing, like everyone's all about content, right? And new SaaS products are coming out for people to like have ease of content. So what are you doing? What are you and your team thinking about on how you're going to really position yourselves to differentiate yourself from other platforms where, okay, I can upload my YouTube video and make a clip. But what's your selling point that you're selling to your creators that Repurpose has your back when you want to do this specific thing?
Yes. So it's 1/2 things. So one is the fact that you can not have to do any extra work to get it to different platforms. So, and you don't have to change how you do it. So there's tools out there that I can upload to social media scheduling tool, and it will push it out to TikTok and to Reels and to whatever. But creators don't like that. Like, they want native, like they want to fire a video, just go to TikTok, edit it quickly, boom, natively just push from their phone to TikTok. They don't want to upload to another app. So that's our angle is, hey, don't change how you're doing it. You keep doing what you're doing. You just post to TikTok the way you do it.
You just manage distribution.
And then we just take care. We'll take it from here automatically. So that's one advantage. And the second advantage is your whole library. Like, if I've never been on YouTube, I have 1,000 TikTok videos. I can connect TikTok to YouTube and say, you know what, every day, drop one of my old TikToks to YouTube. So I'm building a whole new audience, one video at a time, and dripping it out to YouTube. And start building up my Snapchat and start building up my Twitter feed, all automatically. You don't have to even create new content. So those are two things. New content you push out goes automatically out. And then your whole backlog, you can schedule that. You can we have a new feature. We just launched it actually this week. So you can say every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 a.m., publish one to Twitter.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Or X, sorry.
That's a game changer.
6 o'clock, send one to YouTube Shorts every day. So you're being consistent on every platform, exactly when you want it, based on your entire catalog of videos you've already made. So you don't have to even make new content.
There's distribution.
Distribution.
Yeah. So that's the thing. We don't change. I've always had this theory of, if you tell someone, hey, change the way you're making this podcast, you'd be like, no, I already have my system in place. If I just say, you just upload your podcast or your video to whatever platform and we'll take it from there, there's less friction that way. So
A lot less. Awesome. This podcast is brought to you by Lather. Lather is a men's grooming line focused on using natural ingredients along with their invincible line. I highly suggest it. It makes you smell damn good. So now, one thing you mentioned is this, working with creators and how creators are spreading the word, right? Now, as the waves go in and out, you still want to maintain consistency with the business. So I'm guessing you want to pay for ads, get influencers to work with. How has that process been for you?
yeah, we've worked with a few influencers who are making content for us. We're running ads on existing content on TikTok right now. That's worked well. We're running Google ads as well. We started doing Google ads. We're kind of experimenting and what's working, we're going to keep doing more of. So Google ads have been working. Let's just go with that, right? And then we've been trying TikTok ads on other people's platforms, like other people's videos.
Spark posts.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Spark posts or I think, I don't know. It's through the ads. I have a guy on our team who does it, but I can request you, hey, can you give me your code, authorize me to use your video? You get a ton of views and we drive traffic to your video. It's still your video on your channel, but then there's a call to action to sign up to Repurpose. And then we're doing that with Instagram. We just started doing that with Instagram, I think a week or two ago. And then we're also we've worked with a few creators who are just sending us videos now that we're going to use as ads and also as native content. And I'm getting back into making more videos. I started when we got onto TikTok, I started making all the videos and it was great, but I ran out of time. So the consistency factor slowed down. So we got someone else to do the videos on YouTube and a few other platforms. And then we got someone to do our TikToks, but it wasn't quite the right fit. So I want to get back into it. But the reality is it's hard for me to make all the videos. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I love it. I love teaching. I love showing, here, check this out. But we don't want to make videos always about repurpose. That's the thing. It's the challenge. We want to educate. We're all about giving creators as much value as possible. If every video is about, hey, check out Repurpose, you can automate this. I'm not learning anything really. It becomes more of a commercial than a video. So we're trying to focus our channels on more education. We do have a podcast that I don't run, but someone runs, and they interview customers, and not about Repurpose, but about what their specialty is. If you're, whatever, short form video creator expert, you teach about that. So we're trying to offer value that way.
Yeah.
Amazing. One thing I want to talk about is on the topic of creators, right? How do you find the paying creators? Because I find it very interesting, and it's good to have somebody on the opposite side. You talk to a lot of creators when it comes to how they're going to approaching brand deals. But it would be good to hear your side in terms of where you see the industry going and where you see the leverage points going for creators that are listening to the show.
Yeah, I'll be honest, we get, at least for a while, I was getting a lot, every week I was getting inbound email. And in the beginning, I was ignorant. I didn't know. I was like, hey, I'd like to partner up. I'm like, all right, what does partner up mean? Cool, let's have a call. Oh, okay. You want me to pay you to do videos for Repurpose? Okay. I don't know you. I don't know you yet. I check your portfolio, your videos, and I don't know. For a while, we were saying no. I'd entertain the idea that I'm like, no, not ready yet. I still wanted to be the face of the videos, but looking at it now, the ones that do well are when other people talk about the product, not when I talk about the product. Right? Nobody wants to see the company itself talk about its own products. They believe it when they see other people talking about the product. So in the meantime, we've hired a head of growth for the company, and he's been we've worked with one or two people. Actually, we're working with somebody new right now, and I saw a couple of videos today, and I was like, man, that's bang on. It's when you're good, you're good. You deliver the content, you say it short, clear, and you show the value. It's wow. when there's a fit, there's a fit. So
Yeah, we call that having the sniper mentality.
Okay.
You don't gotta coach it. It's just like
It
either
just-
you have it or you don't have
Yeah.
it at all.
Yeah, and we don't have time to be like, no, change this, no, change that. It's like you deliver like, bam, that pop, like, damn, you nailed it right there. Let's do more of these.
Like life is so easy when you have that.
When you have those right people, yeah,
exactly.
and-
We just hired somebody, my editor. Shout out to our guy.
Abdurrauf.
Shout out to Abdaruf.
Yeah.
You know, he is killing it with the edits. Like people are hitting us up like, yo,
Even my sister hit me up today. I think she messaged the 24/7 hustle account.
go follow us on IG if you're not already.
Yeah. And then it's like, yo, bro, like, I love this new edits. It's like, I love how vulnerable you are. Like, I need to see this more of you, you know, because she just sees me as like, oh, yeah, that's big bro, you know, because I got to be strong for her and my sisters. So for me to like talk about that crying clip, it's like, yo, man, you guys need to do more of that with these kind of edits and transitions, man. That's sick. Such a good moment. I felt proud, you know, someone says your content is nice.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, but you're saying like having the right person, it's something that you just it has to click right away. You
Yeah.
can't force it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And if you don't have a good vibe from the beginning, it's like you can't force it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's cool. Having the right person on your team or like
That's a big gem.
it's a
Big gems.
yeah.
Yeah. Hire for that. Sniper.
First round draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's difficult. And but yeah, once you know it, right? You feel it. You feel the connection like, man, this person is delivering exactly what I want. They get me, right?
Yeah.
So if I was a creator, then would that be the right way to approach you? Like, hey, you know what? I'll make a video for you for free and show you the sniper, so you can be like, oh, he's actually good. Would that be a way, or would it be like,
I hate, I don't like asking for anything for free. Like everyone deserves, like you put in the time to shoot the video, you got to get compensated for it. So the way we found this person, I didn't even find, I wasn't even involved in the process. Our head of growth, he's the one that, I'm not sure. No, I think it was a customer. He reached out, hey, I love Repurpose. And he reached out to our head of growth. And anyway, I don't know, they had a conversation over Twitter, and all I know is today I saw 2 videos. I was like, man, these are bang on. These are exactly simple, not hypey, not too like flashy, just straight to the point. But the content just flowed. So, but we've already paid, made the arrangement, and then he delivered on the arrangement. So I guess we took a chance. But I guess our head of growth must have looked at his videos and
did
from
his
his
scouting.
previous history, did scouting and said, okay, this guy's good. Like they got to fit your brand. Like we have like this vision. We're value first, and we want to help people. We're not like over hypey, like, oh, we're this, that. We're just like, we're here to help. We have a tool that helps you save a lot of time, and we want someone to teach and deliver value, not to be like causing too much attention or drama or flashiness. And that's not our brand. So I guess you have to align yourself with the brand. So if you're more of like outgoing and have wild and crazy dance moves and whatever it is, not dance moves, but like if your character has to match the brand for the brand to go ahead with it.
You know, familiar with Kai Cenat? You heard of him? Kai Cenat, one of the biggest streamers.
Okay.
He's like that exact thing where he's like very all over the place, very eccentric. So I guess I get what you're saying. You're like more like, all right, calm, but to the point, more efficient, more like Apple, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a fun brand, like in a sense that we're not like a serious, we're still a relatively medium-sized brand, but I guess like one thing we look for is the fit. Like if your content and your style fits our, the way we operate in terms of our, our mission statement of like delivering value and just customer first, helping people, like that vibe. So yeah, but it's hard to decide. It's hard. You can't tell by 1 or 2 videos, but but when you see somebody, you just know like, okay, this guy is worth, or this girl's worth a try. Like it's worth investing. I would never ask for anything for free. Like if people send something for free, I'm grateful for it, but I don't feel right. Like I don't say, hey, send me a video and then we'll talk. Then it's like, you've already spent the time to make it. That's not fair to the creator.
I like that. That's
a good trade.
Yeah. All right. So outside of Repurpose, we talked a lot about Repurpose. Outside of Repurpose, what do you do? Like, what are some of the things you're into?
I coach my daughters basketball. Then they both play basketball at the like not in school, but I coach them, and actually the season's starting up pretty soon, so I'm excited to go back into that. What else do I do? It's interesting because I don't know if I was having a conversation with you or with somebody else. I've had this conversation before where my like repurpose is my hobby, and it's not healthy. Sometimes it's my hobby / my obsession / because I love it and I'm always thinking about it. I struggle to find a hobby outside of
Work.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard for me, and so the coaching is a good thing. On Saturdays, we go out 4 hours on a basketball court. Like my youngest, I coach her, and then we play 1 hour coaching, 1 hour game. My oldest, back to back, 1 hour coaching, 1 hour game. Great. My mind is off of work. I'm doing stuff I love, basketball. But that's only 3-4 months a year. Man, I'm trying to think. No, I don't have like a hobby that I can go. I don't read as much as I'd like to read. I never got into reading. Like I listen to audiobooks. I prefer to listen than to read.
Yeah.
We go. I used to go for walks longer, like just get my mind off things. Even that slowed down. So I'm still in the search for a hobby, and something came up. Scuba diving came up. This topic of scuba diving, and I loved scuba diving when I was way back, going out to vacation resorts and we go scuba diving. So I don't know. Maybe that could be the thing.
Yeah.
It's just
a lot of entrepreneurs, struggle with that.
Yeah.
I know I definitely have, where I'm just like 7 days a week, like enthralled, just head first deep into, the business and trying to figure it out, trying to fix things. There's always a problem.
Yes.
Not being able to come up for air. It's a real problem that a lot of entrepreneurs have. I've tried like playing soccer. So that's one of the solutions.
Yeah.
Trying to go out with friends, but like I feel like as you grow older, it becomes a lot tougher to maintain those relationships as you're so enthralled in both your business and your family.
Yeah, it's true. Right, the family. That's. But one thing I've drawn the line maybe 6 months ago or maybe a year ago now is that I'm getting 95% of the time weekends. It's off. I'm getting good at disconnecting, like not just not working, like just not checking email, not checking Slack, not checking anything that's work related, and just being present, like I said, with the family. And I'm getting a lot better at that. Not 100% yet, but there's emergencies that come up during the weekend. But now, which makes Mondays a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie, because Mondays comes in, you're like, oh, I had such a great mental break, and then it's like, poof, it just hits you. You're like I'm back at it again. It's, dealing with all the highs and the lows, right? There's always ups and downs. It's not always up here. There's problems, and then there's wow, we just did this. That's amazing. We just released this feature. I love it. I'm excited. So,
was there ever a time you thought Repurpose was gonna shut down, or it was close to?
No, I can't. No, I didn't. I mean, the way we started is we never took any funding. I think we're just self-funded. So those WordPress plugins that I built before Repurpose was just kind of extra cash that I used to invest into hiring the new developers and start building that infrastructure. So I never.
How much money did you make off the WordPress plugin that you could?
No, it was gradual because they were subscription based, and they were growing. So the first one, I don't know, we made maybe 10 grand, not much. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a good starting point. Then we're like, okay, let's hire a customer support person. Okay. And then as that one was going, I started building another one, and then it started making money. And so it wasn't a lot of money, but it was enough to hire one developer, get some basic servers going, and start building this thing. A lot of it was my time, my time and developers' time. So it was just
sweat
the
equity.
two of us. Yeah. And even now it's still a lot of sweat equity, but I never felt like we were always we didn't have any debt. We were just started with a little bit of funding from the other products, and they were still going, feeding in server costs and all that stuff. But in the beginning, having an audience is actually a good tip. If you have an audience, before you build something big, just build something small. And then from there, you can go ahead and sell or resell that bigger thing to the smaller audience. But start with a small audience, Because if you start with zero, it's really difficult. Really difficult to start with zero. So when I first launched my first software, that's why I partnered with somebody.
Right, an audience.
And then the second, third, fourth, and Repurpose, I did it on my own with the help, like with the audience that kind of grew. So I built Repurpose was almost like an extension
Of the
first
original.
of the original. Yeah.
And the audience is kind of the same audience, low key.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you guys kind of got to double dip because you had the partnership where you had the people come in from that partnership, and then they're like, all right, cool. What else can you give me? And you decided doing your own thing.
It's like a growing baby.
Yeah,
It's being fed every single stage.
I'll tell you something. The irony of the awesome part of all this is that partner that helped me launch is my head of growth now for Repurpose. So we reconnected like 7-8 years later, and now he's part of the team, which is awesome because I loved working with him in the beginning, and now he's part of the team. So sometimes things happen for a reason, and we're kind of back to full circle.
Okay. So one thing I want to ask, like, what's the scale of Repurpose now? Like, how many employees do you have? You know, if you could give like a ballpark, are you guys in like the 8 figures, 9 figures?
We have about 20 people across marketing, support, development team, growth team, etc. Revenue, I don't feel comfortable sharing. But we're growing. The past couple of years have been growing pretty quickly, fairly. Probably our hottest years in the past couple of years, and going. So I'll stay away from that subject if that's okay with you.
All right, fair. So I'll just assume high 8. You know what I'm saying? Is that fair?
That's probably too high.
Okay.
Not quite there yet.
Okay, cool,
but
cool.
we're on our way. We have a very good trajectory. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. You know, moving along, one of the things that I think is interesting too is you kind of play in this interesting lane up between creator and business creator, right? Do you guys find yourself more so going for the smaller creators or like the enterprise businesses as like the bigger lever to pull to grow your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we were starting with our whole goal was to help the small creators. Right? That was Repurpose. It was a very low price point. Help you automate. Like you don't have to hire a team. You don't have to have a lot of people doing those manual posting and editing, and so that was the whole goal. So I want to say 90% of our customers are still the small to medium creators who don't have a big team. So we still attract those, but we are starting to attract a lot more agencies as well. So now agencies want to sign up their clients, manage all their clients. So we're building more tools for agencies now, like just to make it easier for them to onboard their clients. But still, I wouldn't say, 85, 90% is still the the smaller teams who don't have the big marketing teams to hire. So we're not going for enterprise, but our version of enterprise is, I guess, the agency. So any agency who wants to manage their clients, we have a bunch of those on, using Repurpose, and we're going to start focusing more on making that easier for them. Like one example is if you're an agency and you want to get your client to connect their social media connections, you'd have to ask them for their username and password. And some customers don't want to give their YouTube name and password. We're working on a way where you can just send them a link. They connect all their social media channels to your account so that they don't have to give you the password, but they authenticate to Repurpose directly. Stuff like that to make it easier, make the process easier for agencies to get their clients on board.
Yeah, like I said, being a big win, most definitely. What else is next for Repurpose?
Oh man, so much. So we have a new version of the platform. We showed a sneak peek about a month ago. Completely redesigned from the inside and the outside. It's going to look a lot cleaner. It's going to be a lot simpler to use. And then that's end of this year, early next year. You start seeing that coming out, which then we can start building a lot more of the AI that we want to do. Like we're going to build a lot of, we're automation heavy, a little bit of AI now. We're going to be a lot more AI. Things like, to me, AI is just a tool to solve problems that we couldn't solve before without AI. Like we could, but we'd have to hire and figure out all the hard stuff. Now with the tools out there, we can make things easier. Like a perfect example is TikTok. If you put a copyrighted song that's allowed on TikTok, but when you repurpose it to YouTube, YouTube may flag you, hey, this is a copyrighted song. We're looking for a way, we have a way to take the music out of that song without taking your voice, just the music. And before you repost it to YouTube so that you can still use the same video without getting flagged on YouTube. So things like that, like solutions to problems that creators are having when you repurpose. Another one is when you do clips, we're going to help you automate that stuff a little bit more to help you recommend, like take a whole long hour video, give you 10, 15 clips. Hey, these might be good clips. Then you can go in and fine tune it if you want, but just using more of AI to help you speed up the process.
Exactly.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You've come a long way. And one of the things I think is interesting too is the fact that you're bootstrapped. You're a tech company with no real funding, what you're saying. Do you suggest that to entrepreneurs, like as a main strategy, or you think that funding is a necessity?
I've never received funding, so I obviously it's not, to me, it's not my first go-to. Like I'm a simple person. Like I built the WordPress plugins. It was like a hobby. Like it was like, let me build this tool, let's see what happens, kind of thing. And then it started making money, and then Repurpose was funded by that. So my instinct is like build something small, build an audience, and then build something small, and then build something a little bit bigger, and then something a little bit bigger. For two reasons. One, we talked about, like once you have an audience, you can sell them more. But two, it's like you need to experience it. Like, and when if you try to build something this big the first time around, you might fall on your face, because I learned a lot from the small tools. I learned, oh man, we got to hire a support person. Oh man, we got to do this. So we got to have this server and this and that. Whatever. You learn so much by building something small. And then what you learn from here, you take it to the next level. So always start small. Even if you're, like, I was talking to somebody recently and she was asking my advice. She was like, oh, I want to build this software that does this. You've built Repurpose, right? Tell me, I'd love to have a chat with you. I'm like, yeah, sure. She's a customer and she's building something completely different. But I told her, I'm like, how do you take your whole idea, like pick one feature. Can you make that a Chrome extension or a little tool? Build that first and see A, if people want it, and then B, learn from that and expand on it. Don't try to build this thing and then spend a year and then nobody wants it, or you get stressed out and you're like, I can't, like it's too expensive. I can't keep up with the cost. So anyway, the lesson for me biggest lesson I learned is always start small, and you don't always know the end game. Like I did not know when I built the first tool, I did not know I'm going to build Repurpose. It just evolved and people asked for it. It's an evolution, and you have a vision, but you don't know where you're going to end up, and you don't have to know. Just start, get your foot in the door and start.
Yeah.
Bridge of incidents, right?
Huh? Bridge of incidents. Absolutely. On top of Repurpose, I mean, it sounds like you hit the right product at the right time. It's serving the market really well. But what about you, Hani? You talk about evolving the product a lot, but how do you evolve yourself as an entrepreneur? Like, what do those days to days look like? And
that's a very
how do you attack
question.
your own personal growth? Because if you're leading a company, what are some of those things that you're doing to challenge yourself to take yourself to the next level so you can be innovative, be a better leader?
Yeah, that's good. That's a good question. I don't spend a lot of time on that, but that's something that I recognize that I need to. Like now, like you said, as a team grows bigger, you have to be a leader. Even if you don't know all the answers, your team comes to you for an answer. You have to, you have to make decisions quickly, and you have to, guide people in the right way. But that's something I'm realizing now. Like we weren't always at 20 people. We were like me and a developer, and then became 3, then became 4. But recently we've hired a lot of people to join the team. So I'm at that stage now where I need to be aware of how I'm acting, how my team perceives me and my actions, because it makes a difference, right? How if something happens and I freak out, then the whole team's gonna freak out. So if something happens and I'm like, all right, don't worry guys, we got this. We just gotta do this. So yeah, I'm becoming more aware of it right now.
Do you find like within circles of because at your space, your caliber of like being a CEO, right? You must hang out with other founders as well too. Do you find they also struggle with that, taking a step back off the product and thinking, I gotta invest time in myself. I gotta invest time in how can I be a better leader? How do people operate at that level where you're like running like a high functioning product like Repurpose?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I look back and I'm like, man, how did we get here? Like,
It just went by so
it went by so quickly.
Yeah.
But now it's like, yeah, when I do talk to other entrepreneurs, it's the same. Like they're usually like my background's technical, and I think that's a good thing and a bad thing. So in the beginning, it was a great thing because when there was a problem, I'd jump in, or I could piece ideas together really quickly. Now, when there's a problem, my instinct is to jump in, but I don't even know the code anymore. Like it's to the point where I wouldn't be able to do anything in there. But B, it's just a mentality shift. I say, okay, it's not like, how am I going to fix this? It has to be more like, who's going to fix it? Like who's responsible for fixing it? How do we put the right systems in place? I'm writing a whole lot of SOPs now. I find myself like every day I'm writing something.
SOPs, man.
I hate them, but I love them at the same time. When I'm done writing, I'm like, man, this is amazing. This is going to be, I never have to think about this ever again. But when you're doing it, you're like, oh man,
It's
what
so
a chore.
dreadful.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm finding myself like thinking like, who's going to do it? Which team? Do I have the right people in the team? Maybe we need another person in this role. Starting to think like, again, stepping out of the day to day. And when a situation happens, I'm like, okay, who's going to handle it? Is there an SOP for it? And, how do we prevent it from next time? Like, maybe we need another person, another support person, another developer, another whatever. So yeah, I'm starting to think things differently than it used to be. Yeah, let me just jump in and help the dev team. Now I'm like, I can't. As much as I love to, I can't.
Yeah. Leadership is extremely key.
It's hard.
It's
hard, especially when, like I said, I'm a technical background, so I love geeking out on like API documentation and like this cool technology and cool AI. And I was like, I still do that. I give myself some space to like tinker with like new technology enough to like, keep my finger on the pulse. So like, okay, this is a new tech. Maybe we can integrate this, but it's not as much as before. It has to be like just a little bit, and then okay, hand it off to the experts to implement.
What are some of those challenges of like leading people, like for people who are building teams like from day one? As you reflect back, like now 20 people plus growing, where do you see like your leadership skills evolving to? And if you could look back from where you started, and the people listening, because we talk to a lot of entrepreneurs listen to our show. What are some of those things you can tell them to start early? Hey, start doing this to work on those leadership skills. So even if you are technical, you should be continuously thinking about this in conjunction with being the tech guy coding and building the platform.
Yeah, that's a great question. If I look back, I would say like getting the right people early. Like I've made mistakes where I've hired the wrong developer in the beginning. We literally wheels are spinning and nothing's getting done for 4 months, and then you're like, all right, I got to cut the cord now. So if you got to cut the cord, cut it early. Like if you have the wrong person on your team. But for me, like it's a mentality of, like I think I mentioned earlier, my cousin taught me this thing recently. He's like, it's who's going to do it, not how. Like the question you should ask yourself is, and when you're small, you can't do that obviously. But as you're starting to grow, I got to think, okay, whose responsibility is this? Who's taking ownership of this? Okay. It's not me. Like as a CEO, I have to be able to rely on a layer of below me on my team that are responsible for each division. So once you start thinking like that, again, not the first day or second day, but when you have 2 or 3 people, you guys start thinking, okay, who's responsible for this? Not how am I going to solve this problem? Who's going to solve this problem?
It's like being like a coach.
No, like a coach. Yeah, you can't jump on the court and start like
you gotta have a playbook
on it. Yeah,
you gotta know who your strengths, the stars are, like where to position them, what plays to run, which day to run those plays.
Yeah,
like a defense, like another competitor coming in the mix.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy. I love that.
We're going up against this. Okay, we gotta get our defense, which is like a feature or some sort of like marketing tactic you gotta use, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like being a CEO is like being a coach, more so, and like readjusting your offense and defense each and every single day with like a whole different squad.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Almost, actually, I would say even like a GM maybe.
like you're like a
Because-
Masai, pretty much.
because you have to like pick the people to play
To
that
play in the role, right?
You know what
And
I'm
be able to
saying?
like give them like a 10-day contract and like, you know, nip it in the butt as soon as you see, hey, you ain't cutting it. You ain't cutting it anymore, you know? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And having like good leaders on your team too, like
Good generals.
Hiring the head of growth has been like greatest move because it freed up a lot of my time. You know, he's responsible for all the growth activity, including the marketing and the support, and he manages who gets hired, and like it just took off like a whole. I was approving every single email, every single video that went out. I was like, I can't look at all this stuff. It's like, and if I do look at it, it's like, yeah, it looks good. Like I'm not giving it enough justice to look at it. So somebody like. He literally took half my workload away by just managing those two departments. And I was managing, you know, the operations and also managing the product manager who manages the dev team. So I still had my finger on the pulse because we're building a whole new platform and there's some big decisions to be made there. And so I'm still involved in that from a high level, but it freed up my time to think that way. So hiring like not just people to execute, but people who are thinkers, like strategic thinkers who can say, okay, I can lead this part of the company or the team, and that's important.
yeah, and I think that's what makes great CEOs. I think they're great recruiters more so than anything, because you can probably come up with like a B+ product, but if you got A+ players working on that product, you can compete with a product that was already good to begin with, right? So I think that's what I'm taking away from this is like you got to be a great recruiter of talent and being able to see through, okay, this person might not be a good interviewer, but I can see something within them that they can actually do this job. They can lead people, they can delegate, they can actually bring something where I can just be hands off and I just actually get the reports and status updates of what they're doing to make sure things are going well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where you need to be. You need to have hands off. Things get done without you asking it to get done, and you get notified when you really need to get notified. Like when there's something that's really beyond everyone's control, that it comes to you. But you have the right team to deal with it, and almost like enough buffer between the customers and you.
The challenge just comes like, okay, how can I trust these people with my baby? Because the way you're making it sound is like Repurpose is like your everything. So it's like giving it to someone, be like, okay, run with it, take care of it, and make something out of it.
I in the beginning, support was hard for me. Like hiring support was hard because I knew the software inside out, so I knew how to address all the technical issues, and the person who we hired didn't at the moment. He was just learning, and but I hated doing support. And not hate it. I loved talking to the customers. I actually love having conversations with the customers. What took me down was like there was something in me, like if I couldn't help that person, I felt like I was letting them down. I was like, and it would really affect me. I was like, oh, this person's disappointed. They had a problem and I couldn't help them, right? And that was especially in the beginning. I was like, I wanted to help everybody. Yeah. And I was like,
you're the savior.
Yeah, but I was like, it was like, it was, I don't want to say depressing, but it was bringing me down. Like I wouldn't get joy. Like I would get joy when I have an idea and I see it come to life. Yes, we just released a new feature. I'm so excited. I don't get excited about how much customers we have. I get excited about new features because it's going to help so many people. And then I get one bad or negative comment in a support chat, and I'm like, then I go in, I dive in, I'm trying to figure out how to help this person, and then it just brings like the energy down. And I found like I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, I need someone to take over support so I can. Otherwise, I'm just going to be going down this rabbit hole of like be down, emotionally down. Where
did you see that as like a reflection of you? Because
in
the
beginning, it's like I let this person down, or I know the software is not perfect. I know every software has glitches, has issues. We connect to 6, 7, 8, 10 different social media platforms. If the Facebook server goes down for 10 seconds, our software can't post to it. Customers, hey, why did it fail to Instagram? Well, it was not our fault. It was anyway. It's a million things that can go wrong because it's not just it's complicated integrated system.
Yeah.
But I take it personally. Like you said, I
It's
take
like
it
it's Handy's
personally.
fault.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, I let this person down. And it's not like, oh no, I lost a customer. It's like, it's not like, it's not a money thing. It's like a personal thing. Like
It's
you
like
said.
a trust. They
Yeah,
trusted.
they trusted me.
and
They signed up for this. They tried it. They're disappointed. I got to make it better.
yeah.
And you know, we do improve. But in the beginning, I was taking way too personal, and I'll be like, and it'll be a distraction. Like it'll be like one small thing that would go down. We're trying to build something amazing here, and I'm like, I end up shifting my focus to that one issue that only one customer had, and I spent like half a day on it. I was like, wait, that's not good use of my time. So I needed to put that buffer between me and customer support. And you know, we have the right. Now we have 6 people doing support, but at the time it was one person. He was very good. I trained him really well. Like I showed him all the tricks and how to check all the logs and this, and so you can really help the customer. And that's been great because I don't have to get into support ever again. We have enough people in there that know what they're doing, and if it needs help from the technical developers, it goes to the product manager, then it goes to developers, then it comes to me if nobody can figure it out, which is rarely the case.
Yeah, there's this one CEO, Pipeline Signals. Like when I was working at Vidyard, I recently bought his course so we can know how to like hire better. And one of the key things he says is that you got to have like the 2-1 method, right? Okay. So you come with a problem. You say, okay, Owen, Alex, this is the situation. These are 2. So 2-1 is okay, this is the problem. These are 2 solutions that I thought about and why I think we should do them. But if you don't like 2 of these solutions, I'm open to suggestions, but give me the power to implement these 2 suggestions based on what I've showed you of how we can fix this problem. So you as a CEO, when you hear that, you're like, okay, the problem is this. The 2 possible solutions are that. You're empowered to make a decision because either of those decisions I'm good with, or lastly, you can come and say, you know what, let me add to that. So now your bandwidth of thinking is not really being consumed with what this problem is, making it easier for you. And it gives them the ownership of taking care of things by themselves. So they don't have to run to you each and every single time that something's hitting the fan. It's like you empower them to come to problems with solutions, and you're like the last decision maker.
Yeah.
If all else fails.
I love that actually. So you come to me with 2 solutions, and I'll tell you, you know, I'll give you my input on which one I think is a good one.
Yeah.
But it was you know, when you came to me, you had the solution. So
Exactly.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So it makes his job easier, and it gives everyone a stake into solving problems. So if things go bad, it's okay, it's on me because I've trusted you to do what you do best at. And that's why I brought you on the team to make those decisions. So it makes it like easier to manage.
I like that.
Yeah.
Start using that.
Try that out. 2-1 method.
That's right. 2-1 method. I like that for sure. Because sometimes, you know, like I said, they come to me like, oh, what do we do? You tell me. You tell me what you're the product
why I hired
manager.
you.
You tell me. Yeah. You tell me what are the best. Give me 2 options. Of what we should
2 options.
Do. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And it empowers them too. Like you
Empowers
said,
them.
they feel.
With that being said, after today's episode, also what you can't control. So control your grind. I control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen Osinde.
And I'm Hani Mourra.
We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace out.